So residential building what I was doing was commercial in nature because they were, summer short-term rental, summer vacation homes. So they were generating big dollars, and it was all about dollars in, dollars out. So they were commercial in nature. And some of the construction I did before I moved there was in the government commercial construction world. So I was doing government contracting all up and down the East Coast, and it was all commercial. So I kind of brought that background to residential construction. So we operated our company like a commercial builder, and my mindset was from a commercial nature. So as soon as the opportunities arose, I started doing some commercial projects down there. I built a Harley Davidson dealership. I did some office buildings. I did some subdivisions where I'd buy the land, redevelop it, things like that. So, I learned from there. And then I also learned, at a young age before I went in the military in Virginia, I'd worked for some commercial developers that were building, mini storage units, one of the first mini storage developers in that area, shopping center developers. I was working for those guys, doing some subcontract work on their job sites. So I was kind of learning from them. I kind of knew what it was, but I still didn't quite get it until I started doing it. And then I read the classics, Carlton Sheets, Russ Whitney, these guys were the real estate gurus back in the day. Dave Lindahl, he's a multifamily guy. Read his book, started learning about apartments. Anthony Menudo. I mean, there was a number of different apartment people back then that had the books, right? So you'd pay $500 for the course, and you'd get the CDs or the tapes, and you'd get the little binder, with all the stuff in it. So that's how I educated myself on the space and started learning about doing multifamily, self-storage, those types of things. And then I would just go out and do projects. Development, I'm opportunistic. I love a challenge. I love old buildings and making them new more than anything else. That's really fun to me. Ground up stuff is fun too, but I just love development. I love breaking ground. I love bringing stuff out of the ground. I love walking on a job site and smelling the steel, smelling the lumber, before a project starts. That's why I'm on the road every day looking at deals and projects. I mean, I'll go stand on a site, I'll pick the dirt up and I'll smell it, before I buy a piece of land or get involved with it. I mean, I want to feel the area, feel the project. So I love to build, whether it's projects, whether it's companies, whether it's people. I buy companies, I do equity capital, buy companies, build them up, sell them off. I just love building things. That's creating opportunity and challenges. I like to be challenged.
Where do you see some new opportunities coming?
It's a very interesting time right now. And, I see challenges in creating opportunity with today's cap rates and being able to create a deal, create an opportunity within the environment that we're in, because there is so much competition for multifamily assets and things like that. So you got to think a little differently, and you got to go after the stuff that people aren't interested in messing with. So everybody wants the stabilized value add stuff, where I'll go into a building that you might say, man, I ain't even walking in there. I love it. I'll go in there and I'll turn that building into something that you never really, ever could have thought it could be. And it could be anything. So there, from a real estate standpoint, there's different spaces that I like. So I still like multifamily. So if you think about the economic environment we're in, recession and economic Armageddon happened, people still need to eat. They need to get educated. They have to go to the doctor. They got to go to the dentist. They have to buy clothes. They have to put gas in their car. And they got to buy groceries. So if you think about the core services that people need, and you look at those asset types, those types of assets and the different classes within those assets, that's where you got to kind of be thinking when you're looking at the economy as a whole. Self-storage to me is interesting because it has survived economic downturns. I don't get it. If somebody's like bleeding, financially, and they're going to keep paying $100, $200 a month for this storage unit to store junk that they're never, ever going to do anything with. My parents were one of them. They kept storage units their whole lives. I was always like, why don't you get rid of that stuff? They're paying $100 a month. Give me the money and get rid of the, I just don't get it, but people do it. They like to store stuff. They like to hang on to it. And I'm a minimalist. If I don't need it, I get rid of it. I donate it. I put it into use for somebody else. My wife, she's always getting on me because I'm always wanting to pare down my clothes, right? I've got 3 or 4 sport coats. I always wear pretty much 1 or 2. I'm always trying to donate the other 2. She's like, no, you need to have options. Keep them. And I'm like, I don't wear them, So anyways, that's a whole other tangent. So in real estate, think about in the worst economic environment you can imagine, what do people need? They have to live, they have to eat, they have to put gas in their car, they have to stay healthy, and they have to educate themselves. So if you focus on those assets, you're going to be safe in any economic environment. With interest rates being low and with demand being high, I am, I don't consider development a risk. To me, it's just what I do. It's what I am. So I like the development space because there is an appetite for stabilized assets, and newer always sells better, always rents for more. So I'm totally fine with development in this environment right now, with the caveat that it is taking longer and it is costing more to get things done because material costs have gone up due to the tariffs, and labor is stressed everywhere. We don't have enough people in the trades. But with the interest rates where they are, to me, I've already been through it where if I'm paying 4.5% now, but I'm paying 20% more on construction and labor costs, well, like we said, back in 2007, 8, and 9, it was the other way around. Everything was cheaper by 20%, but I was paying 9% interest. So it's, just like cap rates on income producing properties right now, the interest rates are so cheap, you can pay a lower cap rate and still be okay.
Right. Wow. So you say you're married. Do you have children?
Yeah. So I've got 3 kids, and I've been through a divorce. You'd mentioned that earlier. I was married 23 years, have 3 of my own kids, 25, 23, and 16, all girls. And then my wife, now, she was married 17 years and she has 3 kids, and hers are 18, 17, and 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you still got some running around the house.
Yeah. 6 between us, but yeah. There's still a couple running around the house, and the other ones are, off at college on their own careers and, things like that.